Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Mia Charu is saying payback period refers to the amount of time it takes to recover the cost. What is that? Recover the cost of an investment. Okay, that's correct. So it is very simple. It is a period what you want to calculate how many years or how many months it will take for your investment to get back. To get back your investment. Say for example, a company is investing 10 crores. So how many years they'll get back the 10 crores? That is what we are calculating in payback period. Is it clear? So we have done, I think, one question. We have to do the second question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will do now question number 2. We will do one more problem on payback period, and then we will go to the next method. What we are going to discuss. Okay. So please turn to question number 2 in your question bank. Already question bank is there with you. Yeah. So we discussed last class the question number 1 of payback period. Now we will discuss the question number 2. Hope you are able to see now clearly. Yeah. So any one of you please read. Alina K. Biju. Alina, can you read? Alina.
Yes, sir.
See the name whom I'm calling today, if you're not answering, okay, then I'll be marking you people as absent. That means not only attending in the logging into Zoom will not give attendance, you have to respond whenever I'm asking any question. And particularly when I'm asking a person to reply, you have to reply. Clear? Or else I'm going to note it down. I got a pen ready and book is ready. I'll write down in the book and the pen the names those who are not responding when I'm calling your name. Okay? If you are not responding, then you will be marked absent, even though you attend 1 hour of class in Zoom. Zoom may give you 1 hour attendance, but I will not give you. Clear? Yeah. So keep that thing in mind, students. And see, as you know, like accounting, corporate finance is also very, very practical paper. So you have to learn. Okay? Then only you'll be able to solve it. You will be able to score the marks. Yeah. Alina, please continue.
Yes, sir. XYZ Limited is considering 2 projects. Each project requires an investment of rupees 10,000. The firm's cost of capital is 10%. The net cash inflows from investment in 2 projects X and Y are as follows. Project X 5,000, Project Y 1,000, Project X 4,000, Project Y 2,000, Project X 3,000, Project Y 3,000, Project X 1,000, Project Y 4,000, Project X 0, Project Y 5,000. The company has fixed 3 years BPP as the cutoff point, suggest which project should be accepted.
Wow. Thank you, Alina. So this is a company called XYZ. They are having 2 projects they are considering to invest. Okay. They want to invest 10,000 rupees, and each of the project requires investment of 10,000, same 10,000 for project X and project Y. And the cost of capital is 10%. Okay. So these projects they have in front of them. So now they want to decide which project to accept or which project to invest this 10,000 what they have, and they want to invest in only one project, not 2 projects. Okay. So these are the mutually exclusive project. Okay. So we discussed, right, that when I was teaching theory, 3 types of capital budgeting decisions: mutually exclusive, an independent project, accept or reject, and capital rationing projects. Clear? So these are the 2 projects. And what is this amount what they given in the table? What are those amounts? Can someone tell me? What is this table? What is these amounts in the table?
So for each year, how much inflow they are getting?
Yeah,
Cash inflow.
that is the cash inflows. Cash inflows, what they're going to get, okay, from this project, okay, from these projects. So project X will give you 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 1,000, because it is only for 4 years, it will get over. Then project Y is 5 years, so it will give you 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 respectively every year. And the company has fixed 3 years PVP. What is PVP?
Payback period.
Payback period.
The cutoff payback period is 3 years. That means what? That is a benchmark. Any project which is able to get your money back, the payback period is 3 years or less than 3 years, those projects will be accepted. And the projects which are more than 3 years, it will take for you to get back your initial investment, then it will be rejecting. Okay. So based on this benchmark, we have to select whether which project we have to accept or reject. So that is what they're asking you to do it. So you have to suggest which project the company has to accept and which one they have to reject. Did you understand the question, students? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Yeah, because based on these methods, we'll be doing one assignment also. I'll be giving you a practical assignment. Okay, so where you have to prepare for your own company. Okay, you have to calculate, do all these things. So please learn all methods. And since we are doing the first method, so please pay attention. Okay, because you have to do an assignment on this, a practical assignment you have to do. Okay, okay. So please keep it in mind. So for the X and Y. So let us go to the question number 3, question number 2 solution. Are you able to see, student? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me do some more. Let me zoom it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is how we have to do it. So here, one thing you have to understand is the nature of the cash flow. What is the nature of the cash flow? Is it constant or is it varying every year?
Fluctuating.
Is it uneven or even cash flow?
Uneven.
It is uneven. So if it is uneven, we have to use second formula. What is the second formula we have to use? Last time we discussed, right? This is the formula we have to use when the cash inflows are uneven. That is, payback period is equal to year before full recovery plus unrecovered cost at start of the year divided by cash flow during the year. This is the formula we have to use. Okay, this is the formula for uneven cash flows. This we have to use for uneven cash flow. Did you get it? So whenever we have uneven cash flow, we have to calculate the cumulative cash flows. That is cumulative cash flow after tax. And in this question, he has given us directly the cash flow after tax. He has given us. So you can see the net cash flows. He has already calculated and he has given it. There is no need to calculate the cash flows. In the previous question, we have calculated, right? So we have calculated the depreciation, then we have minus depreciation, then we calculated the tax value, then we minus the tax, then we added back the depreciation. So we have to prepare the cash inflows in the previous question. This question he has given us directly the cash flow after tax. Okay, he has given us CF80 directly. So we have to take the same thing, but only thing is we have to calculate cumulative cash flows whenever the cash flows are uneven. Okay, so this is the table you have to prepare. So here first column, and then we have project X and project Y, and each you will have 2 columns, sub columns. That is CF80, then cumulative cash flows, then again CF80 cumulative cash flow for project X and Y. Did you understand the table? Now we have to write the cash inflows in the table. Okay. So now tell me for project X, what are the cash inflow for first year? All of you have the question bank with you, right? So please tell me from your question bank.
5,000.
Learn the question bank again and again. You tell me from your question bank. All of you have.
5,000.
Pardon me?
5,000.
5,000.
5,000. Then second year,
4,000.
4,000.
1,000. Third year,
3,000.
3,000. Fourth year,
1,000.
Last year, fifth year,
Nil.
nil. Then we have to calculate cumulative cash flow. How to calculate cumulative cash flow? Okay, so it's very simple. Just take the first year cash flow, right as it is, that is 5,000. Now, to the first year cash flow, you have to add the second year cash flow. That is 5,000 plus 4,000. You add these two. How much you get?
9,000.
5,000 plus 4,000 is 9,000. So the cumulative cash flow for second year is 9,000. Now to the cumulative cash flow, what you calculated, you add the third year cash flow. That is 9,000 plus 3,000. 9,000 plus 3,000. How much?
12,000.
12,000.
12,000. Next 12,000 plus 1,000.
13,000.
13,000. Yeah. And fifth year? Nil, because there is no any cash flow.
15,000.
No, how you got 15,000? Yeah, there is no cash flow, right? Fifth year cash flow is nil. So there is nothing to add. So your cash flow, even cumulative cash flow will stop at the fourth year. That means the total cash, what they are going to get is 13,000. But how much they are investing? How much is the initial investment?
10,000.
How much?
10,000.
10,000, yeah. Now you see from the cash, cumulative cash flow, when are they going to get 10,000? This column is checked. When are they going to get 10,000?
Third year.
Third year.
Third year, but third year they get more than 10,000, right? I'm asking exactly 10,000 when they're going to get. We're not able to calculate directly by looking at the table. If it is able to get, then that is your perfect payback period. If you get 10,000 exactly on third year, there is no need to calculate payback period using any formula. Directly you can say payback period is 3 years. But here it is not the 10,000 exactly, it is coming 12,000. So then now we have to use the payback period formula for the uneven cash flow. This is the formula we are going to use. Got it, students? So once you calculate cumulative cash flow, you have to see when is that I'm going to get my initial investment, what I'm doing. So we can see from this, it is actually somewhere between 2 and 3 years. Got it? It is not exactly 2 years, not exactly 3 years. It is somewhere between 2 and 3 years. Okay? So, but in the financial field, I cannot talk like that. I cannot say that it is 2 to 3 years. I cannot say. I have to tell exactly how many years and how many months. So that is why we have to use this formula to calculate the exact payback period. Did you understand, students? Are you getting it? What are I telling now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If not understanding, if I'm confusing you, please let me know. I'll repeat once again. I'll explain again. Okay. So now we have to use the formula. So year before full recovery plus unrecovered cost at the start of the year divided by cash flow during the year. Now tell me, year before full recovery, which is that year when you're not getting the full recovery?
Second year.
It is second year, yeah. So year before full recovery is second year. This is the second year, okay? Plus unrecovered cost at the start of that is the third year, next year. So how much is the amount which is pending still?
1,000.
Out of
1,000.
2,000, I'm getting 9,000 in second year. How much is remaining balance? Yeah,
1,000.
hey, Hariharan? No, somebody was saying 10,000. Somebody said 1,000.
1,000, sir.
1,000, Vishal. Okay. So it is 1,000. So it is 2 years plus 1,000 divided by cash flow during the year. That means the year when you are going to get full recovery. That year, what is the cash flow? That is, this is the cash flow. That is third year, what is the cash flow? 3,000. Got it? So what do you have to substitute now? 2 years plus 1,000 divided by 3,000. So please substitute now. So 2 years, 2 plus 1,000 divided by 3,000. Did you understand? How did I substitute? Any doubt? So cash flow during the year is the year when you're going to get the remaining balance. That is the third year for us. Second year we got 9,000, remaining balance is 1,000. That 1,000 we are going to get in the next year. So next year, what is the cash flow? That is what you have to write in the denominator. So cash flow during the year is, that is the year when you're going to get the remaining 1,000. So it is 3,000. Got it? So please calculate. How much you're getting, students?
2 year, 4 month.
3 years.
2 years?
4 month.
Yeah, 2 years, 0.33 you'll get, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 2.33 years we got. Next, what to calculate? Month.
0.33 into 12.
Take the decimal part, 0.33 into 12. How much you get?
3.96.
0.96. Now you can calculate days. Take the decimal part after 3. 0.996 multiplied by 30. 30 days. How much you get?
28.8. So 29.
28.98 you'll get. Okay. So what are the exact payback period now, students? Can you tell me?
2 years, 3 months, 29 days.
Yeah, it is 2 years, 3 months, 29 days exactly. We will neglect the decimal part, whatever we are getting. Got it now? So it takes 2 years, 3 months, 29 days to get back your 10,000 rupees. Got it? Any doubt? Anybody has any doubt before we go to the project Y? No? No doubts? Shall we continue? Dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we will calculate the for project Y. Project Y, what is the first year cash flow?
1,000.
Okay. Second year,
2000.
third year,
3000.
3,000.
year,
4000.
4,000.
4,000. Fifth year,
5,000.
5,000. Yeah. Now you calculate cumulative cash flow. Take the first year as it is, that is 1,000. Now to that you add the second year cash flow, 1,000 plus 2,000. How much you get?
3,000.
3,000. So when you add to 3,000, the third year cash flow, 3,000 plus 3,000. How much you get?
6,000.
6,000. Now 6,000 you add the next year, fourth year cash flow. 6,000 plus 4,000.
10,000.
10,000. Now you add fifth year cash flow to 10,000. 10,000 plus 5,000.
15,000.
15,000. It is 15,000. Now tell me, when are they going to get 10,000? Because they are investing 10,000, right?
Yes,
Both
sir.
the projects, each project they are investing 10,000. So now you have to see when are they getting 10,000?
4th year.
4th year.
Is it fourth year or fourth year and fifth year?
Exactly 4th year.
Yeah, it is exactly how many years?
4 years.
Yeah, it's exactly fourth year. So should we have to calculate now using formula?
No, sir.
So directly we got it. That is actually the benefit of calculating cumulative cash flow. Okay. If you get exactly the amount in the particular year, then that is your payback period. Now tell me what is the payback period now for project Y?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. See where you're going to get. See on the fourth year I'm getting exactly 10,000. So my payback period is 4 years. I can directly write it without using any formula. Got it? So now you write down. So payback period is 4 years from the cumulative table. Okay, you can calculate from the cumulative table. We came to know that the payback period is 4 years. So now we have calculated for project X and project Y the payback period. Project X we got 2 years, 3 months, 29 days, and project Y we got 4 years exactly. Now tell me which project you want to select. What are the criteria to select?
Project X.
Why?
Project.
Because it's 2 years, 3. Yeah.
Okay. Is it that the basis you're going to select or something else? What are the criteria to select?
Company has a fixed 3 years.
Least
payback.
one.
The company has given you something. Company has given you the cutoff rate. Cutoff point he has given us. How much?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Any product is 3 years, you can select. Not which is 3 years or less than 3 years, you have to select. Anything which is more than 3 years, you have to reject. So which product you have to select?
Project X.
Yeah, you have to select the project X. Project X should be accepted because the payback period is 2 years, 3 months, 49 days, which is less than 3 years. That is the cutoff point. Clear? Understood? This is how you have to calculate the payback period for the uneven cash flow. Very one thing you have to do is only thing you have to calculate the cumulative cash flow. You have to calculate, then apply the formula, and then we have to see if a cutoff point is given. For example, he has not given cutoff point. Then what you can do is out of these two, whichever is the lesser one, then you can select that one. Got it? This is how you have to calculate payback period for uneven cash flow. Because when we start doing the lengthier problems or the case studies, there we will come across sometimes uneven cash flow, sometimes even cash flow. So you have to be equipped with both of them. You should know how to calculate when the cash inflows are even and uneven. Yeah? Any doubt? Question number 2, any doubt? No doubt? Before we go to the next method?
Sir,
Yeah.
can you please explain the first method of PVP, sir? That formula based one.
First method,
The project X, sir. Not first.
project X, okay. What is the doubt we have?
Sir, years before full recovery means. Can you please explain once again that part, sir?
Yeah. See, full recovery will happen when I get 10,000, right? So here you can see this is a year, and you have to see when is that you are going to get the before full recovery. So 10,000 I'm going to get in somewhere between third year, 2 to third year, but the year before full recovery is second year, right? That means one step before the full recovery. That is what is meaning of that. One step before the full 10,000 you're going to get. That is second year. But here you can see which is the year before full recovery. Project Y.
Third year, sir.
It is third year. Got it? For project Y, before full recovery, the year is third year. For project Y, project X, it is second year. Got it? That is before you get the full amount. That is called a year before full recovery. Clear?
Sir.
Got it? Yeah. Any other doubt, students? We will go to the next method now. Don't have any doubts. Now we will calculate ARR next. No doubts? Dear student, any doubts? Please tell me before we go to the next method.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Now shall we go to the next method now? 1 minute. Let me start the PPT.
John sir,
Sir.
can I take 1 minute, sir?
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah. So I taught you what is payback period and how to calculate payback period in two scenarios. One is when cash inflows are even and when cash inflows are uneven. And for both of them, there is a different formula which you have to use. Okay. I think if you remember this is a formula we use when the cash inflows were even. Investment required, you have the net cash inflow. Okay. The constant net annual cash flows. And then this is a formula we use for when cash inflows are uneven. And then we discussed the last class only the advantages and demerits of the payback period. Now moving forward, we will discuss new ARR, accounting rate of return. Accounting rate of return. It is also called as average rate of return. So ARR method helps to overcome the disadvantages or the demerits of the payback period method. Okay, and the rate of return is expressed as a percentage of the earnings of the investment in a particular project. Okay, and it works on the criteria that any project having ARR higher than the minimum rate established by the management will be considered, and those below the predetermined rate are rejected. Okay, so it fits on the criteria where any project which is having more than the predetermined ARR, that will be accepted, and which is below that will be rejected. Okay. And this is what the formula we have. Here we have two formulas. One is where you are going to use the average investment, that is the numerator will have average profit after tax divided by average investment, and then one more formula where we are going to do on the initial investment, that is called average profit after tax divided by initial investment. Got it? Understood? So when we are using the average investment, then it is called as ARR, average rate of return. And when we are using initial investment, it is called accounting rate of return. That is why we got these two names for ARR. It's called average rate of return when we are using the average investment in the denominator, and when you are calculating accounting rate of return, we will be using denominator as initial investment. Got it? And this is also known as return on investment, ROI, or return on capital employed, and is using accounting information rather than cash flow information, because it's a traditional method. It is also called as non-discounting method of budgeting. Okay, capital budget. Clear? These are the formulas. I think these very simple problems are there. It is already there in the LMS. You can practice that. We will take the other problems for doing it. Okay. And before we do that, we will learn what is the decision rule for ARR. The ARR can be used as a decision criteria to select investment proposal if the ARR is higher than the minimum rate established by the management except the project. If it is lesser than the minimum rate, whatever the management is fixing, then you have to reject the project. And the ranking method can also be used here. Based on the ARR, they are going to prepare a ranking also. Rank 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the ranking method can also be used to select or reject the proposal using ARR. It will be ranking the project number 1 if it is having the highest ARR among all the projects, whatever you are considering. And lowest rank would be given to the project with the lower ARR. Is it clear? Merits. It is a simple to calculate. It's only formula based, very simple to calculate. It is based on accounting information which is readily available and familiar to businessman. It considers benefit over entire life of the project. In the payback period, what are the main demerits? We were focusing only on the year when you're going to get the cash flow, when you're going to get the initial investment, or your investment when you're going to get back. We were neglecting the remaining years. Say for example, the project is for say 10 years, your payback period is only 5 years. So we focus only on the 5 years. Remaining 5 years, we are neglecting it, but not your ARR. ARR takes into consideration the entire life of the project. That means the project is for 10 years, we will consider for the full 10 years. Okay, we consider all the 10 years cash flows for calculating ARR. That's the merits of the ARR. And then demerits. Any doubts, students, in the merits? Any doubts? You are able to understand what I'm speaking?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, no doubt, we'll continue. So what are the demerits? So any method you take, always will have some kind of drawbacks or some negativity will be there, some drawbacks will be there, because none of the methods are perfect. Like how we human beings are not perfect, so even these methods will not be perfect. Okay, so everybody will have some kind of demerit. So here our demerit is based upon a accounting profit, not cash flow in evaluating the project. So here we are not going to calculate the financial way of cash flow calculating. We are going to calculate in the accounting way of calculating. It does not take into consideration the time value of money. It doesn't consider the time value of money. Okay, so benefits in the earlier year or later year cannot be valued at par. Why we cannot value at par? The cash flow what you're going to get in the first year and the cash flow what you're going to get on the 10th year, it will not be in par, right? Why it will not be in par between the first year and 10th year? Because of time value of money, right? We have learned already in the last trimester you learned. So the value what you're going to get earlier will have more benefit to the company than the 10th year cash flow. Because there is a certain uncertainty, right? Why it is uncertainty? Because on the 10th year, whether you're going to get it or not, nobody knows. Only God knows that. Okay? Because there is a lot of uncertainty in that. Second thing, whether I want to get the same amount, it is also nobody can tell you accurately. That is why the time value of money is very important. They have to consider. But the demerit of ARR is not considering the time value of money. Okay? And this method does not take into consideration any benefit which can accrue to the firm from the sale or abandonment of equipment which is replaced by the new investment. That means sometimes they may sell the company, okay, the firm sale or abandon the equipment which they are not using it. So they have to sell it. So when you sell, what happens? Will there be a cash inflow or cash outflow? When you are selling the equipment which is not required. So when I'm
Cash inflow.
will it be a cash inflow or outflow to the company?
Cash inflow.
Cash
sir.
inflow.
Okay, so that cash inflow is not considered here. Okay, it is not considered here. So whatever you are selling, the old equipment or machinery you are selling, you are going to get cash inflow, but it is not considered to calculate the ARR. That is the meaning of the third point. Did you understand, students? Sometimes you may have to explain what is ARR. You have to know what is merits and demerits of ARR. Okay, and then though it takes into account all years income, but it is very averaging out of the profit. Even though take the income of all the years, but what they do is ultimately they do the averaging of the entire thing. So whenever they are getting a very huge profits on 1 year or 2 year or third year, it is not given much focus on that. Because ultimately what they do is they end up doing averaging of entire profit what the company is going to earn. Okay. And the last demerit, the firm compares any project's ARR with the one which is arbitrarily decided by the management, generally based on the firm's current rate of assay. So when the management is deciding the cutoff point or the acceptable ARR, when they are deciding it, they don't decide by using any scientific method. Okay, and normally they do it arbitrarily, mainly based on the current asset what they're having, what are the return the current asset is giving. Based on that, they just arbitrarily they're going to decide the accepted ARR or cutoff point for ARR. That is also is the one of the demerits for the ARR. Is it clear? Understood, students? All the merits and demerits of ARR. Any doubt?
No, sir.
These are very important. Sometimes you may get in question in exam also. Discuss the merits and demerits of ARR. Clear? So what is the formula? ARR, what is the formula I told you? So ARR on average investment, that is average profit after tax divided by average investment and average profit after tax divided by initial investment. Clear? Any doubt in ARR? Shall we go to the exercise problems? Any doubt, students? Or you understood? You tell me. I'll go to the problem. We'll solve now the. Please, we have some time. At least one problem we can solve.
So no doubt.
No doubt. Okay. Am I going fast? You feel you are not getting the reply. If I'm going fast, you let me know. I'll try to reduce my speed. Is it fine? Or am I going fast?
It's fine, sir.
Fine, no? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now we will learn second method of capital budgeting, ARR, how to calculate practically. Okay. Let us go to the question number 3. Yeah. So can someone read for us? Or let me disturb someone, wait 1 minute. Gifty is there, Gifty, section 8, 501015. As I told in the beginning, if you're not answering when I'm calling your name, you'll be marked absent. Please respond. Gifty. If you have any problem, for example, you are having say some background noise, you cannot unmute and talk, you please put in the chat box. Okay. Gifty is not there. Okay, Gifty will be marked absent today. Section CCR, please inform. Okay. Melvin Thomas, section 8. Melvin, please unmute and read the question for us. Melvin Thomas. Okay, Melvin also absent. I'm writing down, okay, you can see my pen. Melvin Thomas absent. Mohammed Naushir. Okay, I'm calling only A section, that is called disturbed B section. Gayatri.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think section A, when you are sleeping, section B is okay. Yeah, Gayatri, please read question number 3 for us.
A limited company has under consideration the following 2 projects. Their details are as follows. Particulars: investment in machinery, project X, rupees 10 lakh, project Y, 15 lakh, capital, rupees 5 lakh, project Y, 5 lakh, life of machinery, 4 years, project Y, 6 years, scrap value of machinery, 10%, project Y, 10%, tax rate, 50%, project Y, 50%. Before depreciation and tax at the end of years, project X, project Y, first year, 8 lakh, 15 lakh, second year, 8 lakh, 9 lakh, third year, 8 lakh, 15 lakh, fourth year, 8 lakh, 8 lakh, fifth year, project Y, 6 lakh, sixth year, project Y, 3 lakh. You are required to calculate the average
Yeah, 1 minute.
rate of return, suggest which project is to be preferred.
Yeah, thank you, Gayatri. You'll be marked present, don't worry. Yeah, so there's a company called A Limited. They have 2 projects, again, project X and Y. So he has given us the investment in machinery. So they are actually planning to buy a machinery. So that is project X requires 10 lakhs, project Y 15 lakhs, and working capital 5 lakhs and 5 lakhs respectively. And then life of machinery. Life of machinery is 4 years for the project X and project Y is 6 years. So scrap value of the machinery 10% and 10% for both of them. And then tax rate is 50% and 50%. Okay. So he has given us the income before depreciation and tax. So what is this? Income before depreciation and tax. Okay, that means what we have to calculate? We need income before, after depreciation and tax. Okay, and then we have to add back the depreciation. That means the cash flows what they given here, it is not ready-made. We have to prepare something. We have to again calculate something. So what you have to calculate? We have to calculate depreciation, and then we have to minus from that, and then we have to minus the tax. How much is the tax rate given? 50%. Tax rate is given 50%, and depreciation is not given us. We have to calculate using the straight line method of depreciation formula. Okay, and then we will get the cash flow after tax, C of 80, and then we have to add back the depreciation. Okay, so project X he has given 8 lakhs, and project Y has given 15, 9, 15, 8, 3, 6, and 3. So project Y and project X. So what's the nature of cash flow? Are they even or uneven?
Uneven.
Which project?
Uneven, sir.
How about uneven?
For project X, it is even. For
Project
Y,
X
it
is
uneven.
even and project Y is
Ah.
uneven.
Project X is even, project Y is uneven. Okay. So you are required to calculate average rate of return and suggest which project is to be preferred. We are not given any cutoff point here. We have to see which is giving more IRR, project X or project Y. Then we have to select that particular project. Okay. Okay. So first we have to calculate what cash flow after tax. So let us open the solution number 3. For question number 3. Yeah. So cash flow after tax. So we have to calculate for ARR for project X. We will calculate first, then we'll calculate project Y. Okay. So we have 4 years, right? It is given 4 years, right? The life of the machine. For project X is 4 years and project X Y is 6 years. So that's why I prepared column 1 for year 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then I have to prepare the particular column. Now understand the table, particulars, year 1, 2, 3, and 4, because we have to calculate cash flow for all the years. Okay, and yes, first we have to calculate cash flow, then depreciation you have to minus, you will get EBT or PBT, then minus tax, you will get profit after tax. Clear? Yes or no? So first we can write the cash flows. What are the cash flows given for project X? We have given even cash flow, that is 8 lakh for all the 4 years. 8 lakh, 8 lakh, 8 lakh, 8 lakh. Got it? So right now, all the 4 years you write 8 lakhs. Got it? Yes or no? Please respond. So whatever cash flow they given in the question, you just take that and write it here. Got it? Next, we have to minus what? Depreciation. We have to deduct depreciation. So how to calculate depreciation? We have to use the straight line method of depreciation, because we cannot use other method. We cannot use return on value method because that data is not given us. So we will take the straight line method only. So what is the formula for straight line method? Formula for depreciation. What is the formula? Yeah. What is the formula? Quickly.
Sir,
Cost minus scrap value divided by number of years.
Yeah, here divided by number of years or life of the asset. Life of the asset. Clear? Life of the asset. This is the formula we're going to use. So we know that initial investment is how much for this one? For the tax is 10,000 and scrap value is how much? 10%. 10% on what? 10% on the investment. That is 10% on the cost of machinery. Cost of machinery is 10 lakhs. So 10% of 10 lakhs is how much?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. So it is 10 lakhs minus 1 lakh divided by life of the machinery is 4 years. So divided by 4. So 10 lakhs minus 1 lakh divided by 4. That is nothing but 9 lakhs divided by 4. How much you get?
2,25,000.
Okay. Others, how much are getting? Others, apart from Abhiram,
2,25,000.
2 lakh
25,000.
So it is same for all the years. Okay, write down 2,25,000 for all the years. This is understood? Did you understand how to calculate depreciation? I use this formula only. Original investment or initial investment minus scrap value divided by life of the asset or estimated life of the asset. So 10 lakh minus 1 lakh divided by 4. Any doubt? Did you understand depreciation calculation? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, you minus that depreciation, you'll get EBT or PBT, profit before tax. How much are you getting?
5,75,000.
Pardon me?
5,75,000.
5 lakh 75,000, and this is will be same because the amount are same. It will be same for all the years. Okay. You write 5,75,000 for all the year 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, you have to calculate tax. Tax you want to calculate on what? What amount? 50% on what?
PBT.
On PBT. Yeah. So calculate 50% of 5,75,000.
2,87,500.
2,87,500. Okay. Others. Other students, how much are getting? Please share your answer.
Same, sir. 2,87,500.
Same. Correct. Who is that? Who answered now?
Archana, sir.
Archana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I want to know those are answering, those are not answering. I have to keep it in mind because I have to give the marks for your participation also. Okay. Don't think that you will get marks only based on your assignment, based on your exam or your rating. Your participation also will carry marks. Okay. Yeah. So these names I'll have to record it in a mind. Okay. Yeah. So now tell me how much you got tax. Archana? 2 lakh?
2,87,500.
Yeah, 2,87,500. How much it will be for second year?
So all the years it will be same only.
All year it will be same because the amount is same, right? So write the same amount in all the remaining 3 columns. Got it? Now you minus the tax, you get the profit after tax. Or nothing after tax. How much?
2,87,500.
87,500. Second year?
The same for all the years.
Yeah, we also same for all the years because the cash flows are even. Same amount is there, same tax is there, so it will be same. Got it? So now we got the profit after tax. Now we can use this for calculating our ARR. So what is the formula for ARR? Very simple. Average profit. I mean, whatever we calculated, we take that, add all the 4 years and divide by 4. Then you will get the average profit divided by average investment. How much is the average investment? How to calculate average investment? There is a formula for that. Okay, the formula for calculating average investment is salvage value plus 1 half or 1 divided by 2 into initial investment minus scrap value. This will give me the average investment. Okay, so average profit we know. How much is average profit? Add all the 4 years profit divided by 4. How much will get? How much is average profit?
Same, sir. 2,87,500.
Give it same because it is amount is same for all the 4 years, so average is also same. But now we have to calculate average investment. The formula is salvage value plus half into initial investment minus salvage value. So salvage value already be calculated here. How much we got?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. So write down 1 lakh plus 1 by 2 into initial investment, that is 10 lakhs. Again, minus salvage value, that is 1 lakh. So substitute the values. So average investment will be, scrap value is 1 lakh, and initial investment is 10 lakhs, salvage value is again 1 lakh, divided by 1 by 2. Divided by 2. So calculate how much will get average investment.
5,50,000.
5,50,000.
5,50,000.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from that, we have to add actually any working capital is given. Any working capital is given?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, working capital is given, so we have to add the working capital also. So please add working capital. Plus working capital also. Because some problem they will not give working capital, some questions will give working capital. whenever they're giving you the working capital, please add that. Okay. So here also we will add how much is working capital?
5 lakh.
5
5
lakh.
lakh.
Yeah. Please add 5 lakhs. Yeah. How much you get?
10 lakh 50,000.
10 lakh? 50,000?
50,000.
No. See, this average is divided by 2 is only for this. Okay, divided by 2 is only for this. Not for working capital. Don't take that. Now you calculate. How much you're getting, you said?
8 lakhs, sir.
No. No,
Sir,
big-
10 lakh 50,000.
10 lakh 50,000.
10 lakh 50,000. 10 lakh 50,000 is the average investment. Is it clear? So the average investment is 10 lakh 50,000. So now I got average investment. I already calculated average income. Just divide that, you will get the ARR. So apply the formula and you will get the ARR. 10 lakh 50,000. So 2 lakh 87,500 divided by 10 lakh 50,000 into 100. How much you get?
27.3%.
27.3%.
3%.
38. Okay. Others?
27.38 percentage.
27 point. 27.38
38.
38%.
is correct. 27.38 is the ARR. Did you understand how to calculate ARR? So we are calculated for company for project X, right? So project X we got ARR. Can I take decision now to accept or reject? Should I accept or reject project X? I got ARR 27.38%. That means the average rate of return is 27%. I got. It's a good percentage, right? Yes or no? Compared to the banks, whatever they're giving, bank will give hardly 6 to 7%. So 27% you are getting. Should I accept this or no? For the X. Students?
Sir, first you have to compare both the values. Sir.
Yeah, because that's correct. Why we should compare?
So project Y, we are getting more income, sir.
Yeah. So project Y we are not calculated. So we have to calculate project Y, then we can decide. And second thing, he has not given any benchmark. Got it? So benchmark he has not given. That means the cutoff point he has not given. So we cannot select now which project to be done. So for that, you have to wait for the next class. Next class we will do project Y. Okay? Project Y we will do in the next class. Or can you take it as homework and do it? Project Y, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all of you please do this as homework. Project Y you calculate. Because all data is there and the formula is already I taught you. And I'll be putting the recording also, today's recording. Watch the recording and you can calculate for project Y. All of you calculate and you have to submit in LMS. In LMS, I'll open the assignment. You have to submit there. Okay? I think now time is up. We have the next hour class. Any doubt before we end up the class? Any doubt in calculating ARR? Students?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Then we'll wind up the class.